right. Again, thanks for coming tonight. Uh, First thing on our agenda is communications to the board and review of the agenda. Superintendent Freeman, would you lead on?
You bet you. Thank you so much. Can you hear me? All right. First of all, welcome. It's always exciting when we have a full house like this, and I see a lot of students' faces there, and it's kind of nice to see the adults that go with those faces. And we have an extra special group of people in here. Our classified staff are joining us tonight, too. So thank you all for making the effort on this wild and crazy week to give up your Wednesday to be here with us. Directors, I would like to add, after the elementary student report, I would like to add the middle school student report, and Lincoln will be doing that. And then I want to add to the agenda, and it'll be underneath number 4, I believe will be your item number, school closure update. And those are the only 2 additions I have for you. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Elementary school report with Olivia Odell, if you would. Did you get it to go green? All right. Good job.
Good evening. Thank you for allowing me to be here tonight. My name is Olivia Odell, and I'm one of the house leaders I'm one of the house leaders from the House of Solivari. Tonight, I'm going to share some great things happening at GES. Last Friday night, 6 students battled it out to be named Glide Elementary's future chef. All of the dishes were tasty and scored well in all categories. Owen Damas came in 3rd place with Marry Me Chicken. Lauren Groth placed 2nd place with an easy jambalaya. The winning dish was Taylor Bierman with green chili chicken enchiladas. Taylor also won 1st place for her table decorations. All the dishes will be served in the cafeteria. Thank you to Mrs. Powell for organizing this event for our students, and to our judges, Mrs. Villarreal, Mr. Odell, and Mrs. Beard. This week, students are on the hunt for pictures of Mrs. Beard and Mr. Odell that have been hidden around the campus. Students who find the pictures bring them to the office to earn points for their house. There are over 150 points up for grabs. The students are having a blast looking for the pictures. Mrs. Claire, our elementary school secretary, has worked tirelessly to organize a clothing exchange for the students of Glide School District. This opportunity will be enabled to people to recycle their children's gently used clothing and shop for new-to-them clothes. Donations are being accepted in the Glide Elementary School office beginning May 5th through the 14th on school days. The exchange will be in the gym on May 14th and 15th during our spring showcase. The houses of Altruismo and Solivari hosted a family karaoke night. It was a successful evening filled with music, fun, and pizza. The houses of Onraka and Isabindi are planning a family event for April. Stay tuned for more details in the coming days. Sports update. Congratulations to the 5th and 6th grade girls basketball team coached by Mr. Donovan and Mr. Hirschfield. The girls won the Boys and Girls Club Douglas County Championship Tournament. Their bracket will soon be on display in the GES gym. Thank you to Mr. Smith and Mr. DeWhite for recognizing our 6th grade athletes who competed on the middle school wrestling team during last week's PEP assembly. We were able to take all the 6th graders up to cheer their classmates on. Congratulations to Layla Andrews on her 3rd place finish at middle school state. You had an amazing season. There are over 236 students signed up for spring sports. This is a record for Glide Rec. A majority of the students attend GES. We wish all of the athletes a fantastic season. We want to thank those who contributed to our 4th, 5th, and 6th grade auction. Parts of the funds raised have been donated to the school to purchase the materials to hang 2 basketball hoops under the play shed. Thank you to our fantastic maintenance team for the construction and hanging of the brackets. Our Bobcats are looking forward to having another option for recess. Beyond sports, we have 29 students from the Glide Elementary that have participated in the winter term of Barefoot Dance. These dancers will showcase their talents tomorrow evening at 5 p.m. in the Glide Loop Gym. And finally, to highlight a few of the great things happening in our classroom, we celebrated the 99th, 100th, and 101st day of school over the last week. This celebration brought grade levels together as they collaborated on counting projects and buddy reading. We had the cutest senior citizens and Dalmatian puppies attending school. Third graders have been tracking the Iditarod sled dog race since the beginning of March. Each student was assigned a musher and had to daily track how far they had gotten on the trail, what time they arrived at each checkpoint, how many dogs they still had in their team, and the position on the race. Along the way, they also explored the history of the Great Serum Run to Nome that brought life-saving serum to the children who had diphtheria in 1925. They have learned many facts about the state of Alaska itself, and even learned the Iditarod Trail Song, a catchy tune that they can't stop singing. Now that the race is over, they are writing their own stories from the point of view of a sled dog, including many things they have learned from the whole experience. Thank you for your time.
Great job, Miss Odell. Thank you. Next up is the middle school report with Lincoln Adams. Is that correct? Okay. Love your shirt.
Good evening, board members. My name is Lincoln Adams, and I am providing the middle school update tonight. 7th grader Jackson Barron took 6th, and 6th grader Layla Andrews took 3rd in the middle school state wrestling championships on Saturday. Middle school track and field practice begins on Monday, March 31st. This week, middle school students are participating in the St. Patrick's Day Gold Hunt. Students can find gold lying around the school in their classrooms or can earn gold for going above and beyond. The rocks are taken to the office and placed in their house buckets. Thursday, during success, the house with the most gold will win house points. Miss Barklow's success class won first place in the Up to Snow Good door decorating contest, with Miss Quilty's Rover coming in second and Miss Oliver's coming in third. Their house, Amistad, won 50 points. The Winter Wonderland dance went off without a hitch. A big thank you to the North Umpqua Bible Fellowship for the donated fruit trays and desserts. I have one high school addition tonight. The culinary classes are gearing up for food trucks, and we are looking for one more judge. Mrs. Strong would love for it to be a school board member. Looking at you, Mr. Freeman. Please reach out to Mrs. Strong if you are interested. The event is April 9th. Thank you. Oh, and if anyone would like a copy of the newsletter, I'll leave it out. Side. Brennan.
Thank you. Okay, I believe what's next is the science field trip presentation with the high school science students. I assume Mr. Shaw is behind all this.
One of many. Yeah.
Yes.
My apologies if you can't see the board very well. We'll try to turn it here. My name is Mr. Shaw, and this is Mrs. Damewood down here, and we just got back from the Seattle trip. And I'd like to introduce you to Clara, Ben, and Noah, who are here to talk about their experiences on the trip. So, who'd like to start it out?
Okay, so it was a 3-day trip, 2-night. It was a lot of fun. We got a room together. We got to go see a lot of cool things. Like we stopped on the first day, we stopped at the Fred Hutch Cancer Research Center, where we got a tour of the cancer facility, not the patient facility for obvious reasons. But we got a tour and we got to see all the tunnels that go all the way through their campus. And we actually got to go into a laboratory. Oh, yes, please. Almost there. Technical difficulties. this is our itinerary. So like I said, the first day we were at the Fred Hutch Cancer Research Center. Second day, which is what Ben will be talking about, we stopped at the Allen Institute. And third day, like Clara will be talking about, we stopped at Kim Seattle at the University of Washington Bothell campus. And we were fortunate enough to have two of the ladies with Kim Seattle do some cool things. Okay, so this is us at the Fred Hutch Cancer Research Center. This, it may not look like too fancy, it's kind of fancy, but the past few years it's been overcast when I've gone, and we haven't really gotten to appreciate it, but that is in the shape of a microtube. That's what it is. And when the light hits it, it actually leaves these really beautiful like streaks of light on the buildings, and it's just brightens up the whole area. And yeah, so in the lab, we did gel electrophoresis, which is basically we took two genes, BCR-ABL, which is found in breast leukemia, different cancer. Sorry, my bad. But we were testing to see which patient samples, patient, air quotes, would be best suited to use a drug called Gleevec, which is used to treat leukemia. So we got to take these strands of DNA and put them into a gel, not nutrient agar, but agar stuff. And we got to pipette them in using micropipettes, and we got to electrify them, and we got to see them glowing under some light, which was really cool. And through that, we got to see which patients would be suitable for, best suited for using the drug to cure, well, not cure, but put a stop to the rapid growth of leukemia cancer. Yeah, so now I'm going to pass it on to Ben, who's going to talk about the Allen Institute.
All right, I'm here to talk about the Allen Institute. We toured the Allen Institute the second day in, March 6th, and this one is more of a research institute. It doesn't directly treat anything, but it researches stuff to treat stuff. And so the last time we were there, the year before, they talked like an hour-long presentation about CRISPR, this protein enzyme that goes in and snips cells. It's super cool stuff. But this year, we actually got to use the protein enzyme to snip the DNA, which is awesome. And so we micropipette these are the micropipettes right there. We micropipetted it into little DNA like tubules and shook it up, and then we spread it out. The exact same thing he did. We combined that knowledge and the new stuff, which is like cutting edge technology right now, like brand new stuff. It's crazy. And we combined those two, and we got to learn all about CRISPR. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah. All right.
Hello, everybody. The third day, we went to the University of a branch in the University of Washington, and did a really fantastic and awesome lab where we worked on facial recognition and worked with Kim Seattle. They talked about King Richard. I'm so sorry. King Richard and putting a face on history and using forensic science and to build faces of people who have passed away. And we learned about all the scientists that go into forensic scientists and what we learned. So we constructed King Richard's face, and we learned about the muscles in the face and how to build them. And yeah, it was super fun and exciting. Personal favorite.
Some other great things that they did is we went down to Pike Street, and they got to go shopping down at Pike Street and see some salmon thrown around, which is always fun and exciting. We took them out to dinner at the Crab Pot, so they got to eat some fresh seafood, and they also got a trip up the Space Needle this year too, which was really fun. We would just really like to thank the Glide School Board for allowing us to do this trip. We would also really like to thank Ben Seraphin Fund and the committee members that select us every year to help fund that trip. It's very expensive. And lastly, we would like to thank the community members who support us at the basketball games. It's not a cheap trip, but our students have a great time. They learn a lot. And it's not just the science, but it's also the culture and the experience that they get for the lifetime. So we just appreciate everybody showing up and giving us or helping us out at our dessert auctions. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw, and your science group. I work way too much, and I need to free myself up and join one of these times. But that sounded pretty cool. So I was a science nerd in school anyway, but that would have definitely thrown me over the top if there was a question. Yep, okay. So we'd like to have some recognition tonight, and those people we'd like to recognize is classified employees. So if you are here, please stand. If you're already standing, move. Move around or something.
Stay standing, please.
These people, if you're not sure what the classified staff is, I mean, I kind of had to learn that with becoming a board member, but having been an elder at a church, and you find out that there's a lot of people that think things happen by magic. Well, these are the magicians that make things happen at the school. And without them, things would not run smooth at all. And the teachers would revolt because they couldn't do that and this. So anyway, we have, I guess you've got some words you wanted to say as well?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to miss this opportunity. I want to personally thank our classified staff. We have over 60 classified staff in the district. I often reference them as the backbone of our organization. They do things that most people are unwilling to do, and we pay them a ton of money to do that. That's facetious. They do it because they love kids, and they love seeing our kids grow and be successful. Up on the screen, you'll see a loop that honors each of our classified staff. It gives their name, what their title is, and then how long they've been in the district. I love watching this and seeing, well, Sarah's here in the audience, and she's been with us for 11 years, and it's kind of nice to see how long people have been with us. Can't thank this group enough for all the things that they do. We did recognize them during Classified Employment Week, but the board wanted to make a special time during this board meeting to recognize you also. We do have cards for each of you, but one of our board members has been stuck up in the mountain trying to make sure our highway is open for our travelers. So we're going to wait for board member Dan Metz to sign your cards, and then we'll make sure we get those out to you guys. But with that, I just want to give a heartfelt thank you very much for what you do. Audience, if you can join me in a round of applause for recognizing them. Thank you. Okay, now you can sit.
All right. Next is our March ESPY Awards presentation. Janet, you're willing to?
Okay, for those of you that haven't been here before, what we're going to do is call your name, and then you get to come up and get this lovely certificate, and then you'll go through and shake everybody's hand, and then once we get done with everybody, we have t-shirts, and you'll come up and get your size. And I will just encourage parents, if you want to come up with your student to make sure they get the right size, please do so. So we're going to start with our senior. And the first senior, I'm not sure if he's here. Jaden Williams. I think he's at baseball. So we're going to read a little bit about Jaden. Jaden is an absolute rock star. He is kind to students and adults alike and has incredible leadership capabilities
both in the classroom and on the court or field. Jaden has also been an amazing role model and mentor to students at the elementary. They really look up to him and look forward to seeing him. Congratulations, Jaden. And also, I apologize if I get anybody's name wrong, please correct me. So for 11th grade, it's Naomi Wenks. Naomi is an outstanding student who exemplifies both academic excellence and strong character. Beyond her academic strengths, Naomi is a kind and respectful person who values effort and integrity. She approaches learning with genuine curiosity and treats others with unwavering kindness. I have never heard her speak out of turn or speak negatively about another person, which speaks volumes about her character. Naomi is truly deserving of this recognition. Congratulations, Naomi. For 10th grade, Tristan Pierce. Okay, Tristan is one of the greatest success stories of the last, it says 25 years, so I don't know how he got that when he's in 10th grade, but he has grown, it's good. He has grown and matured over the past 3 years. He's worked so hard that he is going to be able to skip a grade, regain eligibility to graduate with his class. I am very proud of Tristan for battling through adversity and becoming the young man that he is today. He is respectful, kind, and hardworking. Congratulations, Tristan. And then for 9th grade, we have Nate Hurd. Nate is an exceptional student in science, consistently demonstrating a deep understanding of the material. He approaches every lesson with a strong work ethic and a genuine curiosity. Not only does he complete all assignments with precision, but he also asks advanced level questions. Nate is very deserving of this SB award. Congratulations, Nate. For middle school, Lena Reinert. Lena is having an amazing 8th grade year. As the school year moves towards spring and the anticipated season of track, Lena has been a leader in her volleyball and basketball teams. As her classroom teacher for the last 2 years, I enjoy having Lena in class, and as an 8th grader, Lena knows that she can go into more in depth if she gets her questions answered. I predict a great future for Lena at GHS. This girl is going to love high school. Congratulations, Lena. For 7th grade, Kaylee Dye. Kaylee is a 7th grade student athlete at Glide Middle School. She is a very capable student who often writes wonderful narratives and is not afraid to stop to talk to teachers that she sees at Fred Meyer's when she is not in school, even in session. She is cordial and pleasant, and her ability to engage with other people, welcoming them into discussions, sharing a bit about who they are, will make her very successful in whatever path she chooses to follow. She is amazing. Congratulations, Kaylee. For moving to elementary school for 6th grade, Ava Batlin. Ava stands out for all the right reasons. She is a gifted student with an artist's touch to everything she does, along with being a quiet role model that others can look up to. SB awards were made for students like Ava, and she is very deserving of this recognition. Well done, Ava. For 5th grade, Daniel Valdez. Daniel is an exceptional student who always puts forth his best effort in all areas of life. He is an attentive student during instruction and sets a good example for his peers. In addition, Daniel is respectful to all and works well with everyone. He uses kind words and has a generous spirit, making him a well-liked classmate. Congratulations, Daniel. For fourth grade, Alice Kircher. Alice is an amazing, well-rounded student. Her joy for reading is an inspiration for others. She quickly earned her AR medal during the first quarter. Alice has continued to excel in both reading and math and volunteers to help others. She is dependable and works well with her peers. Alice is truly an exceptional student. Congratulations, Alice. All right, for third grade, Ivory Barrows. Ivory is such an inspiration to have in class. She sets the bar high with the exceptions of great quality work, but she also knows how to navigate struggles with humor and grit. I have leaned on Ivory to support other students academically and socially, and she has impacted others in a positive direction. She has made this year a memorable one. Thanks, Ivory, and congratulations. For second grade, Hendrick Snow. Hendrix is an absolute delight to have in class, and I love the hair. Every day he comes with a big, bright smile and a positive, ready-to-go attitude. Hendrix has a heart of gold and finds joy and the best in everything and everyone. I'm extremely proud of Hendrix and the growth he's made in becoming a more independent, motivated learner who does a wonderful job paying careful attention to the finest details, soaking up more and more knowledge every day. Congratulations, Hendrix. For first grade, Sawyer Jones. Cheering section. There you go. All right. Sawyer is kind to everyone. She faithfully does her homework and works carefully and thoughtfully in class, especially on tests. She consistently follows directions quickly and quietly and acts with integrity in all situations. We can count on her to be honest and do the right thing. We are lucky to have her at GES. Congratulations, Sawyer! And for kindergarten, Zakiah Darby Wyckoff. Zakiah is always doing the right thing, encouraging others to do the same. She works very hard on her work and is always looking to challenge herself and learn new things. She is a great friend and helper. I love having her in the classroom. Congratulations, Zakiah.
Well, that wraps up the EPSI Awards. For the EPSI Award winners, please see Jan for your shirt. And I can't tell you how much this impresses me with the positivism in Clyde School District. You don't see this in every school district. So thank you all for coming and taking time out of your night to share with your students. At this time, we're going to take a short break, and we'll see you soon.
Oh.
It's okay. It's fine. I was like, I was thinking it was close. I think it was close. I hope I was right. She didn't say I did it wrong. So
You remember me, Mr. Freeman? I said, oh, I recognize your voice. You gotta help me with the name. James Cooper. I said, of course, James, I remember you. I remember you as an adult.
All right, we're going to bring the meeting back in to order. If you want to escape, now's the time. Okay, so how do I round this up? Bang it like that? That serious? Hey, I don't want to break up the fun and games, but we got more stuff to do. Sorry. You're welcome to stay. And the weather's coming in. Oh, goody. So I'm sure Dan is really looking forward to that. Okay, next on our agenda is the budget committee candidates. And I want to personally say thank you for people throwing their hat in the ring. So volunteers these days are very hard to come by. And this is a very serious thing and a necessary thing for the school district. And it's been handled very well in the past. That and our great fiscal director has kept us out of trouble thus far, and hopefully we can continue that. I say that because there's a number of school districts around the nation that are really struggling. So appreciate all the efforts of this community. So with that, I'm going to call up each person, or let's see who's all here. Janice, thank you. Katrina, I believe she's not able to attend. And Mitch? Mitch is, okay. And Teresa. Okay, so we've got two here. So for the board members, Katrina and Mitch, for their consideration, we have to go with their application, which hopefully you had a chance to read their input that Jan sent out. So I guess first up I've got is Janice. If you could come up, please. Yeah. So you do need to get close to the mic, though. I
Is this close
probably
enough?
get back too far.
Okay.
What's that?
Is this close enough?
Probably so.
Okay.
So what I'd like is to have a brief intro. Tell us a little bit of your intro versus bio. I wrote both those words down, but I think they're both kind of the same. And why you think you're qualified. And then I will turn to the board, John and Janet and Tracy. We don't have a picture at the moment, but she's remote. So there she is. Hi, Tracy. Glad you could join us. But then each of us, if you have any questions, we'll go through board questions. Okay?
So just a little bit,
A little bit about yourself and your qualifications.
okay, I've been basically in this community since I was 14, and I'm quite old now. So I worked for the school district for 13 years. I was in nutrition services. 3 or 4 years of it was actually as a cook. The rest of it was running the nutrition services. So I was on the end of receiving and the end of giving. So as far as budgets and things like that for nutrition services. That's why basically I think I may be qualified. I have been on both ends of spectrum as far as budgeting. And I've been in the community a long time, so I've seen the ups and downs of the community. My kids all went to school here, and grandkids have went through this school, so I've been pretty tied to this community for a long time. So that's basically it.
Okay.
Any questions?
John?
Well, how come we're granted with, now, did you not know before, or you didn't have time, or?
Basically,
because we have-
I've been I was working full-time for a couple,
Right.
3 years with my son, and then he moved the business, and then I just was working part-time. And I've basically been spending more time around the community.
Okay.
And I just saw this, on Facebook, and I thought, well, I'm on I would join the sewer board, the light sewer board, so I joined that, and I thought I'd just get a little more involved back in the community and in school again, because I really enjoyed all the years. Like I said, I graduated from this school district, and my kids graduated here, so just kind of like get back into the community again. We have the time.
Janet?
I appreciate that the time is a big factor. So I guess in terms of thinking about the experience, like having been on both sides, what would you see would be the strengths that you would bring to this position?
Well, again, budgeting on the side of being like I said, being in the community as an employee, what we did, what we needed, what was given, and what we, and working with that, and then being on the side of the budgeting part of saying, well, we can do this, this, and this. I know how to basically not say cut corners, but what less of this for more of this. Prioritize what what the needs are and then what the wants are.
Tracy, do you have any questions?
I don't at this time. Thank you.
I don't know if there's gonna be a later, so
I'm good.
just saying. So my question is what, have you had any previous experience with budget review?
Actually, when I was a classified employee, I worked with, I was on the union part, and I worked with the school district, through the union and the budgets and stuff, through that. So I was the treasurer for several years while I was a classified member.
Okay,
So, yeah.
great. Anything else? All right, Janice, thank you.
Okay.
And actually, there's only two of you in person here, but I really, really appreciate all four of you for throwing in
Oh, yeah.
your applications. That's, and I say that as, I'm going to say the board vice chair, so
Yeah.
I think I speak for the entire board.
Happy to do it.
You're
in that
here.
aspect. Thank you.
Okay.
Teresa, if you would please. You want me to go through what we want out of you?
A lot of people want a lot of things out of me.
Yeah.
So I'm Teresa Pinch. I graduated in the class behind Janice, so I may be old, but not as old as her. I've been a part of this community since the early 60s. Grew up in Dixonville, graduated from Glide. Thought that Glide had to be the most small hick town that was ever created. Couldn't wait to go to Portland to go to nursing school. Got there and found out this was not for me. I completed nursing school though, but how was I to know people had to lock your doors? What if somebody wanted to borrow your car and you didn't have keys in there? It was that kind of a neighborhood. Things have changed. Things aren't what they used to be. We're not as naive as we used to be. As to your question, Mr. Quimby, as to why now?
Yes.
I moved back here, I left for a number of years. I moved back 11 years ago and lived with my father. And not only did I live with my father, but then I inherited my son who was spending time living on the streets dealing with drugs and alcohol. And then that wasn't enough because I was working full time. I had a nephew with a head injury, Tyler Saar, and he came to live with us. So I was taking care of all three of them. I eventually retired to take care of my dad. The day after he passed away, my sister called me and said, "Oh, good news, I got you a job." I said I didn't know I wanted one. So now I work with Tim's wife and with Mr. Freeman's daughter and daughter-in-law. It's a very small community. Don't talk about anybody because, oh yeah, and I know Tracy since, okay, her grandmother babysat me. But I know people here. I know the community here. I know where things are. I recognize the changes from the 70s when we had log trucks everywhere to, golly, look, there's a log truck. Look at the size of those logs. I wanted to be on the budget committee because back in the 80s, my father was on the school board. They had to vote on a budget. It went down by 2 votes. My father got all of his children that were of voting age and polled them all. Did you vote? Did you vote? Well, 2 of my siblings did not. That was a lesson that, poor Sandy. Anyway, it was a lesson that she learned. We never missed an election after that, none of us. And it was very important. The budget committee is very important. I work with things in my job in nursing to see, okay, you've got X amount of money from the insurance company to do this job. Make it happen. Okay, how are we going to make this happen? It's impossible, but no, you find ways to make it happen. Not cut down on the care that you're going to give, but make it all happen. It's not easy. It's not always pretty. You wish you could give everything to everybody, but it's not going to happen. We're under constraints no matter what we do for a living, where we work, what we do. We're all going to have constraints. But I would really like to be part of this board.
Thank you.
Yeah, and the reason I asked that is last year we basically had to Armstrong people into taking the job, and I'm like, man, we've got 4 people that seem very interested in, and there's one right there we Armstrong, but we didn't Armstrong him much because he's bigger than the rest.
Right.
So yeah.
Right. Well, and it doesn't help that Tim's wife.
Yes,
sits
Armstrong.
behind
You
me.
are you saying?
Pardon?
Did she Armstrong?
No, she did
Oh,
not.
okay.
But you know, I work with all these different people. I work with Mr. Freeman's daughter and daughter-in-law. So suddenly the Glide School District and the Glide School Board is getting, it's talking to me.
Well, that.
But I've wanted to volunteer for a long time.
Yes, and that's more the reason I was
Mhm.
curious
Yeah.
because last year we couldn't. I mean, it was
Yeah.
we struggled to find
Right.
to get the board filled.
And up
And
until-
also
yeah.
even earlier this year we struggled.
And up
to-
until this last year,
yeah.
my hands have been full.
Yes.
But I can tell you a lot about head injuries, below
Yeah.
the leg amputations in the homeless community.
Well, we just don't want to send more that way.
No, you don't. Or to hospitals or to medical care, so, yeah. Yeah.
Janet?
I appreciate that. I guess I have curiosity in terms of, reviewing budgets and making recommendations. Has that been something that you have done? in
Yes, it
your-
is.
Okay. Can you describe a little bit about that?
Mostly in patient care. This is what we have. This is what the insurance is going to give us. What can we do with it? You have, they're going to pay you X amount of dollars. What can we do with that dollar to make that person better or to make their life a better place? What can we do with it? What can our department do to cut costs? Can we order from this company versus that company? You know, can we get by with a 50-cent dressing instead of the $10 dressing? What do we need to do to make it work? Is it just as effective? Is it just, are we just looking like we're cheap? Well, that's not what the hospital gives, but this is what we have to deal with in everyday life out on the streets. We need this.
Tracy? I'm sorry, Janet, were you? Okay, I apologize. Jumped in.
I don't have any questions, but I will say I absolutely love your family.
Thank you.
Wadsworth and Pinches.
Forever. So I need to get home before dark because our bridge suffered in the flood and I have to walk across it because the route that my brother thought was really convenient isn't. Going through my brother's bridge, my niece's property, my nephew's driveway, and then up past the barn. Yeah, they put in a lot of rock and I drive a Honda Civic.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Dan, did you have any quick questions for Teresa? Okay. All right.
Glad you're here.
Teresa, we can, if you wish to leave, go ahead. We're going to have a discussion and vote, and we'll let you know.
I just want to get across the bridge.
Yep, please go get across the bridge safely.
Yeah.
let Margaret know that you made it so safe. Because otherwise I'm gonna bug her after the meeting. Thank you. Okay, the two people who were kind enough to show up tonight have spoken. So at this point, I would like to open it up for discussion.
We only have one position, isn't it?
One,
So
yeah.
sad.
I thought there was going to be two, so that's bad on me. And Jan got on me right away and said, no, it's just one. So if we had an unlimited number, I'd take all four, not decide.
That is one of the, I know, possibly some of the people that are on the committee, aren't that excited about it, but, it try to put some pressure on people so we could get them. And I would hate to think that we're gonna pick one and the other people are gonna be upset over the choice or whatever, because I'm sure there's going to be more openings. People like people continue to try to
Right.
that way.
It's an idea, just throw this out there, but I would hate to turn anybody that has interest away from being on the budget committee away. This board could act to open up our budget committee to a larger size. Believe as long as it's an odd number, we're fine, if I had to think about that for a second, but I would propose that if we have qualified people who want to participate in the community's budget for the school, let's not pick one, let's say welcome, and that allows for those people who may not have just out of the kindness of their heart, they just don't want to step out, it would give them an opportunity to step out. My 2 cents. We could work that out. We could figure out not logistics. Sorry.
I love that idea.
Can we, I didn't know if that's why I was asking, like, can we do, what would it take for us to?
How many do we have right now? We have 4. So
Yeah,
we'd have to do,
It's a
the
5-person.
most we could have is 3. We need 1 or 3. We don't want an even number. Is that correct?
Oh, we would count us too. So
Oh.
there's the 5 of us, there's the 5-person board. So actually, I guess we're not, we're even now. I don't know if that's a rule we have to follow with the evenness.
Whether the rule or not, the wisdom behind an
Yeah.
odd number.
Right.
That's why there's 5 of us and.
So I
Not
think if we
4
took
or
all
6.
4, we'd have an odd number, right? Because currently, the way we're set up with the 5 of us, plus a 5-person budget board, total, that is 10. So taking all 4 would actually make us an odd number.
This may be,
And given the status of the district and the community, I don't think there's going to be so much contention that we can't work out some even-numbered issue if it came up.
I agree.
I'm going to be maybe out of the box here, but Janice, what do you think? I agree, and you can break it up into parts if you want and have separate sections. I was on the Anchorage School Board District, and I don't remember, it's 100,000 kids or some crazy number like that. It was huge, and to handle the budget, you had to divide it up.
I think Dan's looking at our,
I just pulled the policy up. The policy does say that the committee consists of 5 members of the board and 5 electors appointed by the board as required by law. I do not know anything beyond that. Carolyn, do you?
So it's our policy. We can make a change.
Well, and it sounds like that 5 is only required by law. So we're meeting that. It doesn't say you can't exceed.
Right.
Have a problem if it's less than more.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good problem to have, that we have
Right?
people that want to help.
I can't hear you, John.
She can't hear you.
I didn't want nobody to hear me. You know, you know, because you don't get everybody to show up at every one.
True.
Right.
The only problem is that if you have too many, then you need enough to be a quorum. Is that not right? Yeah. So.
Okay.
So I guess, do we have to make a decision tonight? Can we table this and come back, or can we make it contingent upon that it's okay? I mean, I guess I'm just looking at a way around this.
I think we would have to table it because we would have to change our own policy. And so we would have to take a motion and have a hear. If we're changing policy, we have to say, hey, we want to change that policy, and we could do that as like a first reading or something kind of tonight, then at the next meeting say, we changed it and welcome to the budget, if that's what we want to do.
Well, then we can't do it because we don't have time. Time's against us for the budget committee meeting. It's coming up when again? In April.
I think we have time.
Yeah, because we got one more meeting in April
Yeah.
before the budget committee meeting, but I would say the main problem would be making sure that, well, that would be 13 people. You'd have to have 7. I guess that's not huge. Does it say at least 5 or does it say 5? Or we could put in at least.
Oh, yeah, it says at least 5.
If the policy said at least.
What says you, Jen?
Keeper of the book.
I can't hear if somebody's talking.
So the law is that you have representation from the community that matches the board number. What I don't know is why you can't have more than that. I would assume that you could have more than 5, but you have to have 5 to have a budget committee.
Yeah, I would think that if it's a thing, wouldn't our policy say at least 5 and no more than 5? Like it couldn't have more. So I'm wondering, like, do we really need to make a policy change if we're already meeting the minimum, but it doesn't say that you can't go over?
I kind of find it like if you have to have 5 by law, maybe there's a reason for it, because we could say, oh, if the board decided that they did not like what the public was doing, we could say, oh, well, we're going to change the rule to 3 or 1. Although I don't know that it would make a difference more, because if that's the case, then if the board was at odds with the public and we had the 8 at-large ones, then we could just say, oh, well, we're getting rid of 3. I don't know. I'm just why it's wrote the way it is. I'm just curious.
I can run it by OSBA first thing in the morning. That bumps us
I
in
think
to-
that would be a good idea before we, because of that reason, because the law must be that otherwise the board would have 100% control.
Could be some pitfall out there we're not aware of.
Yeah. That, I mean, if we change it to 8 and then we didn't like what the public did because we're going to railroad something down, then we could change it back to 5 or 4 or.
I know you can't have less than the number of board members.
Okay.
Yeah, I do
In
not.
Roseburg, we had to have 7, because it was a 7 member.
And that might be the case. We may be able to have more. I'm just not aware of the law, and
I don't know about, I know you have to have at least as
In,
many. Find out.
it wasn't definitive, but what Tracy just showed me was local budget committees are supposed to have an equal number, but it doesn't.
right, and that's what I'm saying. If we didn't like something, we would just say, oh, well, we're getting rid of 3 of them.
With, well,
Just like we're saying right now that we'd like help.
but if we're going to play kind of hardball in that direction, the school board has the final say in
Exactly.
acceptance, so.
Yes, but not
it-
on this budget deal. If you had the same amount of,
Right. So try I have another proposal to get by this for now. What if we selected one and had 3 alternates? And then we can deal with this, kind of kick the can a little bit, but we've got our base covered. Does that sound like a
sounds all right to me.
possible solution?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Then I would like to entertain a motion to select one of the 4 as the primary choice to add to the budget committee, and the other 3 as alternates.
If we decide to go that route with the
Right.
8-member budget committee at large.
Yeah, and review get OSBA's thought on it and and law.
And that might be, because there may be some of the other budget committee members that if somebody really wanted to do it, they may like step down. I'm not saying they would or they wouldn't, but they might.
Instead of at large, or alternate, make him at large.
And also one of the, I think Dan Dawson's expires at the end of this academic year. Is that correct? Jan, or was it next year?
That's correct. It'll expire after this budget season.
So we may end up losing. Okay, so we're all, I think that to cover our bases due to the timing again, that we choose one and have the other 3, we list them as, I don't know what the appropriate term would be. It would be at large, or which usually at large board members are not allowed to vote, but they are allowed to attend.
What about discuss?
What?
And discuss or not? Allowed to attend and discuss.
That would
but
be
not
up
vote.
to the budget chair to decide if they can speak or not. I guess I can make the motion. I was gonna entertain a motion, but I believe I'm in my right to say the motion, unless somebody else wants to say it, but since it's kind of my brainchild, I might as well spit it out. So I make a motion to approve the appointment of, or to vote for one of the 4 candidates and select them as our primary budget committee member addition, and the other 3 as the remainder three to be listed as at-large budget committee members that would not have voting rights. I don't know, do we need to add pending legal review or anything like that? Okay. But I don't think it's 5 people. I'm getting there.
I would second that. I think.
Okay.
It'd be the wrong thing to do, but I think.
I guess I would just confirm discussion point.
Can't hear.
Yeah, well,
Sorry.
yeah, the motion's made, so let's have a discussion.
Thank you. You didn't call for it, so I apologize. I guess I would like that the discussion does happen with OSBA, just to make sure we're not in some weird place. So, I mean, we talked about it, but I just not happening. Because I also don't know if putting people at large will also put us in some weird place. I don't know. So, maybe we just make sure that that's.
Tracy, do you have any input there?
Yes, some of the language that's being proposed as far as like stating that they're at large and then have no voting power, I'm hoping that we could sort of curtail and limited that. Obviously, we're waiting to hear from OSBA, but that we're saying we're picking one for now with the possibility of extending that per OSBA approval. I just hate to put in stone already that we're saying you're alternates and have no voting power when we don't really have that answer
So
yet.
you'd like to amend that?
That's correct.
Yes, that's, and you got that. That she wanted to amend it to say pending.
Well, that's my discussion point I'm throwing out there if anybody else has things to
Was
say
that
about it.
discussion or an amendment?
That's a discussion for now, and that I'm throwing out there in case anyone wants to chime in on my thoughts about that.
I think that's probably a little wiser on the part of the board, just do it that way, so I would propose that we have to vote one way or the other, but then come back with a second that is, hey, let's pick one, and then pending conversation with OSBA.
Well,
see
we
if
can
see
vote
the
on
others.
it on one with that amended.
Well, so if I understand this right, let me rephrase the motion is to vote for one as our primary selection to add to the budget committee, or something to that tune, with the other three. No, she wants to amend that to the other three being at-large pending. You want at-large, or do you, how'd you say that, Tracy?
So I just don't want to get stuck with at-large or no voting as like permanent wording. So just like pending, and the other three also pending OSBA approval. If not approval, then maybe they could be at large.
Yeah. The one, and then the other three on the committee pending OSBA.
On the committee, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, needed something.
Yeah, on the committee, yeah, so we're approving
Yeah,
one.
I like that.
And the other three also, if OSBA, pending OSBA consultation.
Yeah. So you got something? Could you read it, please? Use your mic, please. Sorry.
So what I have is that we would amend the motion to pick one candidate pending discussion with OSP. Oh, and then Tim votes for one as primary selection for budget committee with the other three appointments pending OSBA direction. Is that right?
I kind of said it, so I don't think I should second that. What?
You have to agree to amend your motion.
I agree to amend my motion, my original motion.
Look at us being all Robert's rules and
Or
doing
I
the thing.
withdraw my original motion.
Look, we
and-
learned so much from the FFA over the years.
And I'm in support of the amended motion.
Second.
Thank you, Dan. Yeah, where's the FFA folks when we need them? Since we're knee deep in it. Okay.
And then second be further discussion.
Any further discussion on the amended original motion? Okay. So I'd like to, all those in favor of the amended motion? Okay. Passes unanimously. Oh, I think I'm supposed to do that. Okay, so now back to kind of the original story. Okay. Let's, will you have a card in front of you? So, yes, please put an X, check, circle, whoever, by one of those names as the primary budget member that we are going to, it gets to go to the budget committee regardless of what OSBA says.
Secret ballot, the one?
Yes, yes. Who's counting? You counting?
So there was 5 of us, all here voting, how are you secret ballot?
That's fine as long as we don't have a tie. I'm going to put an arm bar on you if we tie. He's abstaining. Okay. Yes, a tiebreaker, yes. Okay. All right.
What's happening? I couldn't hear that.
Dan didn't feel that he was, because he missed Janice's and his schedule's not allowed him to really thoroughly examine the others. So
okay,
he's abstaining unless we
Copy
have a
that.
tie.
Okay.
Then I'll cast a tiebreaker.
Okay. So the person with the most votes is Teresa Pinch. So I move to approve the appointment of Teresa Pinch to the Budget Committee as presented. Dan seconds it. Any final discussion? Okay. All in favor? All right, unanimous. So we'll inform, I guess Janice left, Mitchell and Katrina of the desire to thank them for applying, and then what our intent is with OSBA to find out whether we can or not. But I want to make something clear about that. I don't want them to say, no, that's all that you can have. I want to know why. I'm that kind of a person. I want to know why. Tell me the law, tell me the whatever, please. So I'm not one for just rolling over because they say so. So, all right. Moving on. Approval of consent agenda. The minutes of the regular meeting, financial report from February, and personnel recommendations. Do I have a motion to approve that?
I'll move to approve consent agenda as presented.
Thank you.
I can second.
And Janet seconds. Any discussion?
I just was curious because this one, there wasn't, I didn't see any requests for like special stuff, but maybe I missed it.
Which page is that? Oh, there it is. Right. That's on page 13, top of page 13. The minutes, the financial report, and 2 elementary school hires. Okay?
I must have missed it on my phone. Okay.
Tracy, any discussion?
Nope.
Dan? John? Janet? Okay. All in favor of accepting the agenda as written, or as presented?
Aye.
Sorry. Janet, did you vote? What did you say? I missed you. Thank you. I missed it. I'm sorry. So that passes unanimously. Okay. Love it. Item number 3, policy revisions, first reading. Mr. Freeman, please.
Yeah, so the first policy is required adoption presented by OSBA of a policy that we just adopted. As you will recall, we learned during that process we're going to be seeing more and more of these come up as legislation changes, and this is one of them. So policy GBNAA/JHFF, suspected student conduct with students reporting requirements, added the students in the first paragraph. It added the definition of what constitutes a student conduct. And then on the second page, it identifies who is going to receive the reports, and that's our human resources coordinator. In the event the report is about the human resources coordinator, the report will go to the superintendent. My recommendation is, because this is a policy you just approved, that you approve these clarifying changes on first reading.
Any discussion?
There's actually that one other policy that, oh, sorry.
We'll deal with one at a time? Okay. Any,
So you're thinking we should just go and do that policy, move to accept the first reading and move to approve them completely on that first policy?
Yes, and the rationale is,
Right.
back in October, you just redid this
Right.
policy and approved it. All they did was clarify those things that are in highlight there. And they
So we
changed
should move to accept the policy and not the first reading, is what you're saying?
on first reading. Yep,
Yes,
so,
okay. Move to accept
so how,
the policy
typically, we have
on
a first reading where
Right,
it's
yes.
introduced, and then the second reading is when we approve
Okay.
it. I'm
And
suggesting.
we're gonna do them one policy at a time.
On this one, I'm suggesting that
Okay.
you approve on first reading because we just adopted it.
I move to accept on the first reading the policy GBNAA JHFF.
I'll second.
that. No, go ahead, Jan.
I'll second, yay.
Oh, Tracy second. Okay. Any further discussion on this one? Everybody good with it? Great. All those in favor? Yay. Motion passes.
Thank you. The next one is, this is a new policy for us, and it's recommended by OSBA. We had an internal discussion that we feel like even though it's recommended, and it is in other places such as TSPC and in statute, this would be a great reminder to have in policy for our licensed staff, and that is policy GCAA, and the title is Standards for Competent and Ethical Performance of Organ Educators. The language you see in this policy matches almost word for word the statute and what is written in TSPC. And the reason I keep coming back to TSPC, that's the licensing organization for all licensing persons in our organization. And every person does have to sign off on the competent and ethical performance that they've read this. But I think it's prudent to also have it as a policy, as another area for our licensed people to see. So this one is just first reading, and that gives you an opportunity to look through it and make sure that's something you want as a policy.
What about the next one, the next policy? Are you thinking it should be a first reading also?
So it's just those two policies that I'm bringing to the board tonight. I know where you're confused, John. The first one.
Yes, you.
The first one was, it was actually two policies. One was a staff, that was the G, and the J was the student one, and we did those both together.
Right. Then I have G.
I know, we confuse you guys every single time when we do this.
JHFF, GBNAA.
This one's that one.
It's just reversed. It's the same policy. It's in two sections of
Oh,
your
I see.
policy.
Okay.
One's under the student section and one's under the staff section.
Okay.
Well, you must realize I'm easily confused.
No, that one, I'll keep saying it because it is super confusing when they double that up. But the G is staff, I believe, and the J is student, or it might be the other way around. But when it's G first, that policy is going under the staff or student. Now I'm confused. And then it does a slash and references it in another section, only to show you that they're the same policy and they would be in two different places. But then when the J one is first, you've approved that to go in that section, and it's referencing that it's also in the G section.
So it's really only the GCAA that we're doing.
You're actually doing both because you want it in both places of your policy. But yes, it's the same policy.
Well, I move to accept the first reading of that policy. How's that?
Okay. So now, but now we're on the second one though, right?
The second, the one we approved.
You've already approved the 1/2.
Right.
So let me clarify. I recommend that you approve policy GCAA for the first reading.
I move to accept the first reading of policy GCAA. Anybody else?
I'll second it.
You even know what you're seconding?
I don't know. I think I get it, but we need a definite different way of doing this. Yes.
Okay. So, discussion. My only concern is have the teachers had a chance to look at this? Are they familiar with it?
That's why this is the first reading. They will have that chance if they would like to.
Not if we pass it on the first reading.
We didn't. The first one we did, this one we did not. This one we are not passing. The first one we did that.
You approved on first reading.
Right.
This one is just the first reading, so there'll be a second reading where you'll.
This one we are going to have a second
So
reading.
then I misheard the motion.
We accept the first.
Okay, all right. Thank you. All right, no further, then I got no problem. Anybody else got any discussion on it? All right, let's vote on it. All in favor that this is the first reading? Go team. Motion passes.
Can I just, maybe just for us, for discussion and motion, we list this some way that we can understand it? I don't know if that means that with more details about something. So figure it out.
Would you like Jan to bring that book?
No, I don't want the book, but I just.
I think it needs to maybe be
All right,
bulleted
here's-
instead of in a
here's the deal.
sentence.
I will never ask you to approve it on the first reading again. That was a new thing for you. Typically, the process is you have a first reading and then you approve it on the second reading. I just thought to expedite things because we had just approved this, that we would do it on the first reading, but we won't do that. I won't do that to you ever again.
Don't say that.
Maybe just give us the title.
Yep.
That might be awesome.
Separate them out, please. I think that's where we got tied up. Okay. I missed something. You got that stack of yellow cards? No public comment. Oh darn. He said facetiously. All right. Item number 4. Superintendent Freeman, please
right.
discuss
Yep.
school closure.
So this will start out as a discussion. Depending on what you guys decide, it could become an action item. All right, so yes, once again, we had to close school for inclement weather. This time was because of floods. I don't ever recall having to close the school because of as much rain as we had, but it became very evident further into Sunday how many staff were affected by the amount of rainfall that we had. Glide itself actually fared, no pun intended, fared pretty well because of the higher elevation. The lower elevations did not fare very well, and we have a lot of staff that come from lower elevations. It became, again, apparent that it would probably not be in our best interest to have staff and students driving that next morning, and it offered an opportunity for families just to regroup, help their families who needed help, and give them an extra day because of the weather. So what that did now is we canceled school for a second day, and I want to give you the information that then presents to us. We have requirements from our Division 22 standards that kids, students, are required X amount of instructional hours. At our previous board meeting, I indicated that we were well within our instructional hours if you chose to not make that day up. I again am telling you that we are within our mandated instructional hours, but we are closer. We have one more day that students could miss until we absolutely have to make up days. But our closest group is our high school students, and they missing the flood day along with the power day, we still have an excess of 9.42 hours in the day and then 9.5 hours for our seniors. So there is room for you to debate whether you want to make that day up or not. If you choose to make that day up, I recommend a Friday in late April or early May that we are not scheduled as an in-service day to make those up. And we can present those days if we get to that point. So those are the options in front of you with the data indicating that we are still within our required statute hours for instructional time.
All right. I'd like to start the discussion out by asking a question of Dan, because you have so much institutional knowledge on this. I'd appreciate your insight with years past.
So it's varied. I will say that there have been discussions in the past. Past superintendents have felt very strongly about making up every single day. And that was mostly regarding labor management stuff. Staff was being paid, the expectation was staff was getting more. It's in the past. There's been a lot of debate on the board over the years about whether that's good or bad. That's one point of view. Largely, I think the most reasonable point of view has been that we get such low attendance on those makeup days, it doesn't benefit to turn on the lights. I mean, it's just costing, it's silly to have a work day just for the sake of having a work day because it's in the contract, has been generally the consensus. So there's always been a limit, and that limit's been about 2 days. So if there was a third day hit, then we'd be saying, hey, we've got these pre-programmed days, let's start using them. But that's kind of been the 2 days has kind of been the limit of the board for a long time anyway. But those are the varying opinions. I know historically staff, or not staff, sorry, student attendance on makeup days is so short that meaningful work doesn't get done anyway. So it's not really been worth it. There's history from those that are institutionalized.
What happens, what I'm curious about is if we don't have the days and we say something happens in May, we lose 3 days, you don't have enough makeup days left to actually, I mean, at a certain point, you would have to carry school on past.
Yeah, you get to designate the makeup days. That would be my
main fear is that, school's out a certain day, and then we just have to make them up at the end.
Mm-hmm.
That would be more over the whole thing than actually. And I don't know how low a person wants to get down, because if we lose 2 days more, apparently, and it happens to be May, and there's one Friday to make up, then we have to carry school on later into the year.
Yeah, and that is a typical process for districts that remember Snowmageddon. Well, we remember Snowmageddon. Schools went till the end of June to make those dates up. So going into the summertime is a possibility to do that.
And an option. Yes.
Yep.
I concur, and I appreciate, Dan, the history, because that was I mean, just to be very transparent, I got lots of students and parents saying, thank you for not having the makeup. We really appreciate it. It's really hard, for when you've got a set schedule and then to shift it for students and families. So, and I think, again, the attendance rate I heard from a lot of students, I wasn't going to come anyway. Mostly high school students, obviously, but I think right now, because we've got that cushion, and I mean, I appreciate the question too, John, because that was mine, okay, we have one more day, and then we would have to look at making it up.
Then it's not a choice.
Yeah, it's not a choice. Then it would be a requirement. And I don't know, like you're saying, just putting it in for cushion's sake, I don't know that we need to do that. I mean, I don't know what the weather forecast is like right now.
Hey, just for the record, the groundhog did not lie.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying.
He's a weatherman.
He's on it. The groundhog.
So I heard Director Metz talk about former superintendents, and so I would like just to kind of reiterate my thoughts on this. You guys get to make the decision. This is totally your decision. My thoughts are this. Education happens in lots of different forms. I often brag to you guys about how many students are involved in extracurricular activities. We have learning that goes on beyond the classroom walls, beyond the school day, happening all the time throughout the entire year. We have a very, very dedicated staff. We got to honor our classified staff today. They They put in countless hours. Many of them put in more hours than what we asked them to do. You saw a presentation of the science field trip. Those teachers gave up their evening time to go and spend and give this opportunity to our students. Jennifer is here. Jennifer just got back from a professional development where she used her personal leave days to make sure she could go learn stuff to bring back to our kids. I could make a whole list of examples like that. So as I said last time, I super appreciate working in a district that honors our staff and recognizes that it's more than just, the 7:30 to 4 o'clock that instruction happens, and recognizes the extra time that our staff puts in. My philosophy is your instruction time should be quality instruction time, and when you start adding days, the quality of instruction definitely goes down. And I too do not want people playing a movie or just being here because they're told to be here. Instruction should be quality. So that's my 2 cents on instructional time.
Hear, hear.
Well, I agree with what you said, but I also, having been a teacher, I also, I covet the time that I have. And so at this point, and I don't know, I haven't personally polled the teachers to, are you getting through your lesson plans, or you're, maybe that's old school now, but getting through your program for your classes, you've now been shorted 2 days. Is that okay, or is that adaptable? Or do you need those 2 days back, or any days back at this point? Any, go ahead. Okay. That's not where I'm going, not in the least bit. Sure. That's fair enough.
Will somebody reiterate what was said, because I couldn't hear anything?
Jennifer, they would like maybe the teachers to have some input on when and how, if we do have to have if we do want to make up a day.
Okay. Thanks, John.
Yes, I would say your high school attendance would be very low. Maybe the little kids might show up.
So Mr. Shaw stated, I don't know if you heard, Tracy, did you? Okay. He said that I'm going to paraphrase and stop me, Lauren, if I'm wrong. It's a great idea. He'd love to have the time back, but logistically and functionally, it's not going to work. Is that fair? Okay. So
thank you.
Thanks for your input on that. Okay, anybody else have any further discussion?
So I kind of gave the big overview of the history, but I'm pretty strongly opposed to trying to make a 2 days. We've done it in the past, and I've seen it just not be useful, and that time would be better spent for the staff. You know, now you got a day to do planning and grading, whatever, or just, it doesn't pay off to try to work those days back.
I agree with Dan.
I concur. So do we need a motion then, just like we did last time?
I was trying to get away with just polling you. Well, where's the FFA when you need it?
Well,
I
if
think
we
we
don't
only have
vote
to-
to have the day back, doesn't it just disappear?
I think
Yeah.
I can do a
Yep.
poll.
We only need a
Does
motion to
anybody
bring it
want to
back.
have add the day back? Anybody want to add a day? Okay. So there's no vote. We're not doing,
Yes, if we just don't go
we're
there, then.
we're not, yeah.
And I'll try to relay the staff some of the sentiments and message that was said tonight. They'll appreciate that.
Yeah, just to clarify, my concern was, are we shorting the teacher? Not whether we're getting the money out of them, that's not, no, I know, I know you guys put in too much extra
Thinking if I
time
was
as
a
it
kid
is, so, yeah.
and school was out on the 5th of June, and they made me go the 6th, I couldn't make it.
Right,
I'm sick.
yeah, it just becomes a nightmare, so. Get control of that weather, Dan.
I'm working on it, man. I'm working on it. It'll be in the 80s next week. You're welcome. That is actually the forecast, if you haven't looked.
It is.
Oh my gosh, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, but
crazy.
then suddenly my 160 inches of snow becomes somebody else's problem.
Yes.
So, good luck with that. Won't be my problem. I'll be stuck upriver.
But I'm sure you can talk to either of the Shaws here and we'll tell you that warming up doesn't necessarily
That's-
gonna keep the land from sliding.
True.
Changing the water amount, and anytime you change, yeah. We'll be thinking of you, Dan. Moving on. Superintendent Freeman, please.
All right.
Provide your report.
Yes. So I'm going to reiterate some things that I already said tonight, so I apologize, but I'm going to say them anyway. All right. I want to inform you of some of our outstanding student athletes. For high school wrestling, we had two students, Connor DeVogue and Caden Cox, place third at the state level, representing Glide. And then Zach Czar also went, and he wrestled very well, but just came up short of a podium. In high school boys basketball, Jaden Williams, you heard he was an SB winner tonight. He got honorable mention for the league. And on the girls' side of basketball, Taylor Thingvall was a first team all-league selection. And Kara Anderson, Clara Kircher, who presented at the Science, and Aubrey Groff all got honorable mention. So huge congratulations to our winter high school sports athletes that got recognized. You've heard a lot about middle school wrestling, and Layla Andrews' name continues to come up. And I hope you're picking up on that. She is a sixth grade girl who got third wrestling at the state level against sixth, seventh, and eighth graders. And if you'll recall at the last board meeting, she got first at regionals wrestling boys and girls. At state, they only let her wrestle in the girls bracket. She's going to be fun to watch go through. Jackson Barron also placed sixth at the state level. Oh, and one thing I want to say about the middle school state level, it's not broken into sizes like high school. It is all the middle school student athletes in the state. So they're going up against 6A, 5A schools. So I should have said that at first because that even makes it more awesome. Quinn DeVogue and Spencer Zars both wrestled very well. They won 2 matches at the state level and just missed a podium. Oh, and back to Layla. Layla was the highest placer in Douglas County, both boys and girls. So, yeah, I know. She's a stud. Okay, and lastly, not lastly, high school track starts, and track and field kicks off their season with the Glide's first ever small school season opener that starts tomorrow about 3:30. if you're wanting to come out and root on our track students. And then I wanted to remind you again, I know we celebrated at the last meeting, but for winter sports, our cheer team placed third at state. And that was quite an accomplishment and deserved to be recognized. That is my report. Our kids are doing great.
Thank you very much. Carolyn, you've been sitting there so quietly and patiently.
Do y'all need to take a break before I get going? It's going to take me a while, though. I have to make a joke. So you guys have your financial report. The main thing I just want to point out about that is that they do take our numbers that are submitted in December and then they recalculate. And we are getting some more money than what we started the year out with, which is really helpful since our PERS rates are going to be going up so much next biennium. And then I'm just wanted to mention that I'm working on budget right now as we speak. So that's all I have. Always, if you guys have questions, you can call me or email me.
Well, it's that time of night. Yeah. Have anything you'd like to share?
No, I'm good. I'm sorry I didn't get to sign everybody's card, so I will say to classified, I didn't make it time to sign stuff, so. Thanks for all they do. Appreciate
They're here for you.
Oh, saved
them
Oh,
for you.
disregard previous statement.
Yes.
I don't know anything about that. It'll be, you won't know anything, so. Thank you, classified anyway. I'll sign it.
Well, glad you got off the mountain.
Yes, it's been exciting. And Robert, so the board knows, Robert and Harvey get texts from me regularly, hey, bus can't go this way today. It's not a good thing, and they respond well at all hours of the day, so. Snow slides, you pick your disaster. It's been fun, so.
When did it become vogue to charge a snowplow?
Oh, with us? Oh,
Yeah,
that's number 4
I
this
think-
year, just for us. That doesn't,
I think
it's
you
not
want
the
to dodge
agency.
those.
Oh, speaking of the agency, I do want to share something here that's new, that I'm excited about. I told Robert about it. Maybe not immediately after we talk about the 4 snowplows we've had hit this year, but we have a new program in the agency, ODOT. It's called the High School to Highway program, and I got approved to get one of these positions. And so you'll see the local schools will get I'm sorry, I'm tired. I'm trying to put the right names. The job announcement in the next week. We're finalizing those things, and so we will hire somebody right out of high school to come work with us on the crew. And they'll be, they're going to end up with their CDL. They're going to learn all this stuff. It's pretty exciting. There's 16 across the state, and I got approved for 1. So they'll be reporting to Steamboat. And I hope a glide candidate is successful. So if anybody's listening, start getting the idea in some glide high schooler graduating person that, hey, if you want to come enjoy the snow and the mud and the rain and the fire and all the things, we're going to have a position this summer. So more to come. There'll be, I'll probably come talk to Chris Clare and say, hey, let's, I'd like to see somebody from your kids.
Did you say they're going to get they're going to get a CDL out of it?
You'll get your CDL. Yeah, we'll bring them on, and they'll be in a special classification, of course, because they don't have a lot of experience. But
Right.
the idea of the program is over 1 to 2 years, they're qualified to apply for a full-time permanent basic highway maintenance position. So it's a great opportunity. We'll get them trained up. They'll get a mentor. We've got a great mentor already outlined or set up, and she's going to be great to work with. And somebody's going to learn a lot really fast, and they're going to end up with a CDL by probably October. We'll put them through training. We have our own training schools and our own testing, and yeah, it's going to be an excellent opportunity.
Fantastic.
So,
well done.
Yeah, excited that we got selected, and yeah, I want to build a little excitement about it. I hope to get.
But a CDL to go out to a class, it's close to $4,000, give or take a bit, to, if I wanted to go get my
Yeah.
CDL and go to a class, it costs about $4,000. So
Well, and
that's-
this is a job, like they have a position, you're getting paid, they report to Steamboat, work with the
Yeah.
crew. So they're learning a trade every day, so it's gonna be exciting.
That is fantastic. John?
I would like to reiterate what Robert said about the junior high wrestling. It is actually in Oregon, it's like the only true state championship you get in wrestling is if you are a junior high state champion. So it is quite a feat. So
Yeah.
they do compete against everybody. There is no divisions. And then one thing I don't know, I just can't, I always hear on the radio the different things about how bad Oregon is in education. I don't know if you guys have heard that or seen that, I'm sure that, and I just can't believe that our school is that bad. And I don't know how we compare them. I don't know if we really are that bad, we really got to do something. But if we're not that bad, which I don't think we are, I don't know how to get the word out that we're doing better than Oregon on the average, or what their main deal is.
So there's a lot of, Tracy probably can back this up, but there's a lot of discussion at the state level about accountability and how do we measure school districts. And I really think the state of Oregon has failed our students by only measuring them on what they remember, by giving them a test and they have to regurgitate that information on a test. There's lots of other ways that students learn and have the ability to demonstrate that. So I do think kids doing well on a test is important, but it's not the all-be measure on how a school district operates. I often share with you things that are important to me, and I talk about the number of kids that are involved in extracurricular activities and that percentage. To me, that's a sign of a very healthy school district, because learning doesn't just stop when the bell rings at the end of the day. And we have kids involved in lots of different things, learning characteristics and skills that are going to help them be successful later on in life. John, you hire students and you hire people all the time, and you don't have them take a test and see what their math knowledge is, or if they know who all the presidents are. There are skills that are important in your business to help them be successful, and I feel like our job is to help students get those skills and qualities also. And that's how I would like to see GLIDE measured, because I think we do an excellent job preparing kids
I
for
think
after
we
high
do
school.
too, and that's, I guess maybe I didn't, but that's what I'm like, I don't like to see that we are, lumped in with, Oregon is number 50, in education, and it's like, I can't believe that that's, where we're at, and that's kind of the thing I'd like to see at some point, that they say, oh, well, maybe some schools in Oregon, and we
Well,
have-
maybe we're the ones that made Oregon 50 and not 51.
Right.
Just saying.
So I think you can make an argument, you take a student from Los Angeles and plop them into GLIDE, they're going to learn things that they've never been exposed to before. The opposite is true also. You take a student from GLIDE and plop them into LA, they're going to learn things that way too. So but I don't like how we just use one measure across the United States to measure how schools.
Right, and I don't know how they measure that, but it is kind of disappointing hearing that on the radio or whatever, and that. But, and then the other thing that I would like to bring up is that I really want to check out that April 9th food truck judging competition.
Everybody was here. I got to tell you, last year, that was one of my highlights of the year. If you got an invitation to participate in that, my recommendation is you jump on it.
I thought I just heard one earlier.
Yep.
Yes.
It is quite the event.
So, but I guess that's my comments for tonight. Thanks.
John,
Well, and I
just-
think,
real quick,
um,
if you're looking for a way to measure, though, I think one thing that has always stuck out to me is our graduation rate.
I'm
And our
not,
graduation rate.
maybe
is-
I'm not looking for a way to measure.
No, I'm just saying
I'm
something.
looking for a way that we get out as, that we are doing a better job than what,
So-
than what is coming out.
I guess what I'm saying is what, not you specifically, but one quantifiable thing we've used in the past is say, look at our graduation rate. It shows the effort that our staff and community are putting into our kids, and our graduation rate's so much higher than the state's average. And it's I can't remember last year, but we're usually the top in the county, if not in the top two. And that's something we can say, look, this is the effort that our staff, our community, us as a board put into the students, and it's a quantifiable thing. The rest of the stuff is hard to measure, but graduation rate is something that we've been able to advertise.
Oh, and I did want to thank the classified staff also.
and John, maybe what, you triggered it, Dan, it was maybe at graduation, we can touch upon some of those things about, I'll just simply say the awesomeness of Glide.
Yeah, and I think to John's point, I think it's beyond just talking about, I mean, there is a part about local, but there's also a part about changing the narrative, what is being measured. I've run into this, Oregon rates, like last on behavioral health, when we looked into how that was actually measured, it really put us at a disadvantage because certain things that they were counting, and so it's complicated, John, but maybe it is, I mean, Tracy, for you, I think there is some advocacy maybe we could think, to your point, Dan, about how we promote what good that is being done. And I do think things like the Facebook page and, just getting the word out about the good things that students are doing, hearing it tonight, seeing how many people are showing up for the SB Awards, all of that, I think changes the narrative and the culture as well. So, but I do think it's critical. Because otherwise it's like, yeah, you hear this effort, we're terrible. It's like, we're not. We're not. No, I don't think so. I think it's very different.
Go ahead, yeah, you got the mic,
perfect.
keep
So
going.
I have, again, I just want to reiterate, thank you to all the classified staff. I feel really bad that we didn't have more and be able to give them their cards tonight, Dan, but I get it, you were stuck. So just, want to be able to figure out something so they know how much that they appreciate this and trying to make it. I wish there could have been more, but clearly there are. And then I think Walker Gaylord got coach of the year for the district. I did want to highlight that. So,
Janet, could you get like a little bit closer to the mic?
Yeah, sorry. I'm pretty sure
Thank
that
you.
Walker Damewood
Is that
got.
accurate? You guys know? I would certainly like to recognize him. Yes,
Yes.
he's done a great job for a young man in his second year of coaching. Has done a phenomenal job with
Yeah.
the program.
So, I mean, and John and I know, I spent watching Walker grow up and, and Tammy and all of us, through that. And so, rebuilding a wrestling program and having the depth, I think I just want to make sure is acknowledged because it's a huge deal. Also, a huge shout out to Tammy and the elementary staff and everything for the spaghetti auction. It was so amazing to see the community come together for that event. And again, I saw the thank you to the Monteriches, but definitely, I go to a couple other auctions, I'll just say that, and I'm always like, we are so fortunate in this community to have the resources we do, because that's not the case. And so, just really appreciation for all of that. And it was so much fun, and it was just a great, to see all the folks coming together and the volunteering, and the students were so excited and happy. And I do also want to shout out, I told Noah, but I also watched Noah, several cases, going behind and picking up after students, helping them, coach them. He's cleaning up the floor where some kids spilled stuff. And I told his dad at the senior thing for basketball how much I was just very impressed. But that's the quality that I see that we're producing as a district, and I just want to acknowledge that. Also, a huge shout out to Jan for thank you for staying for me, because I know I had an awful day, and I was running late, and to get down here and be able to sing everything, so thank you for staying. I really, really appreciate it. And I also want to shout out baseball starting, and I will tell you that my son is the assistant coach, and he is so excited about the students that are coming out for baseball. They're excited about what they're going to do, and so I'm looking forward to watching some of the baseball games once it gets warm, and it's not soggy wet.
Tracy.
I just wanted to reiterate my gratitude for our classified staff. We couldn't be the amazing district that we are without them. They're the glue that kind of keeps us all fully working in motion, and just want to extend my extra thank yous. Other than that, just kind of keeping an eye on the some of the proposed policies that are up through the legislature. Also, I don't know if I said out loud, but wanted to thank John for joining the Rural Caucus. And I don't know how much he's coming to meetings via Zoom or anything like that, but I do appreciate if any other board members would like to, don't forget, it's open to you as well. And yeah, that's about it. I'm sorry I couldn't be there in person. I'm still up at Job Corps right now, doing another late night.
I don't know that I have anything more to say than what I did. Thanks for all your input. And I'm probably forgetting something, but I'm just grateful to be here and work with you all. What? Okay, yeah, great. Anything else? All right, thank you all for staying. I hate to say, this has probably been one of the longest in a long time, so I almost hate to do this. Thank you all. Have a good evening. Drive safe. Meeting adjourned.